All right. Hey, Living Fit Tribe, we are here tonight to have our transformation story for this month, the month of May. It is still May. I've lost all track of what day, what time, what month, what year. We all know it's 2020. That's the only thing I'm really clear on. It's 2020 still. But I'm so excited tonight. Ashley Klaffke has been a coach on our team for probably about a year and a half. But I'm so excited for you to hear from her tonight because I think a lot of you might be able to relate to her in a lot of ways. She was, first of all, I grew up with Ashley. She was a few years younger than me. She took some classes at the high school with my father-in-law. And my mom actually, Lindsay and I are sisters, and our mom actually used to do Ashley's hair. So we go way back. So, but what's so cool about her story, and I'm so excited for her to share it, is that it was not always an easy thing for her to start this journey. And she's come a long ways. Just this last week, she celebrated becoming a diamond coach, which is the first leadership rank in Beachbody. Super exciting. But I think it's really easy sometimes for someone to look at Ashley and be like, oh, this person hit diamond. It's a really big rank. It's a really great thing, a great milestone in a business. And to easily compare yourself and think oh, she had it easy. Oh, something must have gone in her favor. And that was easier for her than it would be for me. And I just want her to share her story with all of you. One, in her fitness journey, and two, with the business, where she was and how she got to where she is now. So, Ashley, I'm just going to go ahead and hand it over to you so you can share a story. We are so excited to hear from you tonight.
All right. I'm Ashley Klaffke, and Lauren introduced me a little bit, but I grew up in Charles City on a small farm, and we raised animals and the whole 9 yards. I went to college at Iowa State and met my husband along the way. He was not going to college at the same time, but I met him during college. And now I live in Alden, Iowa. And yeah, the rest is history, I guess. But Beachbody definitely was not a new thing when Lauren came to me. I had done it a couple different times with a couple different coaches. And I was definitely one of those people that was like, sure, I'll jump in. Give me the challenge pack. Give me the link. I'll sign up. I never signed up as a coach, but I was a challenger. And I checked in, but I wanted to be behind the scenes. I didn't want people to watch me what I was doing. I didn't want people to, I felt like no one really saw me fail if I did it by myself, which also became my excuse to not succeed in my journey, because it was easy to just go under the radar and no one really was checking up on me. So yeah, I had never really drank Shakeology. I always bought the challenge packs. I tried it every time. I tried it once and thought, this is gross. Nope. I let the bag go to waste and I throw it away. So Lauren asked me to become a coach. I had been in a couple challenge groups, I think, with her, and I was like, oh, coaching? I mean, why not? I mean, I jumped into Beachbody in general, so I really knew nothing about what to do as a coach, if it was discount, if it was helping people, but why not? I'm kind of one of those people that want to fit into the groove of things, and so I just hopped right in. But for some reason, my mindset changed at that point, and I felt like more people were watching me. Not that they were judging me or thinking that I wasn't going to do it, but I just felt like there was more eyes on me. And at that point, I don't think I've really missed many workouts since that point. My nutrition is and was not the greatest. That's definitely something that I work on daily. I'm a huge emotional eater, so if anybody has not looked into 2B mindset, that's my plug for this, because that's something that can really hold me accountable. If I'm tracking what I'm eating and doing what I'm supposed to do, it definitely keeps me in track. This was also when Lauren said, if your nutrition is something that you're struggling with, you need to try Shakeology for a month. Every day for a month, and then you can make the decision on if it's worth it or not. And if I do it every single day, I can definitely tell the difference between in my cravings and the want or need sugar aspect of my life, which is a huge downer for me. I feel like sugar and sweets is definitely the place that I venture to first when I'm having a bad day, or even to celebrate. I grew up in a family that my mom baked all the time. We always had dessert, and so it was really hard for me to get out of that swing of things and to want or to not need sugar every night after supper. Shakeology definitely became like my nighttime treat. I first started this when Lauren said coaching and thought, I love a side gig. Like, let's make some money off of this. And the more and more that you get into this business, the more and more you realize that money is definitely a byproduct of this, but it's definitely not the reason that we're all doing this. So I started out with the super salesy, really annoying invites and realized that wasn't going to work. And so I didn't really do much of the coaching aspect of it. I started focusing on my workouts, really hard on myself. And I guess from that point, the rest is history. I tried every single time of the day to work out. At that point, I think Bro was probably 1.5. So I didn't want to get up early in the morning. She was a great sleeper, but I didn't want to get up early in the morning. So I tried working out right after I got home from work. Well, that doesn't work because trying to make supper and trying to do anything, that totally doesn't work. I tried after she went to bed, and I'm not a night owl. So 8 o'clock hits and I'm like, okay, let's get ready for bed now. So mornings were definitely where it ended up going to. And so now I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, work out. This was before quarantine, get ready for the day, wake up the rest of everybody else and leave the house by 6:30. And I can totally tell the biggest difference when I get up at 6 o'clock. When I used to Lift 4 had Wednesdays was a rest day, and I ended up having to start filling that with a workout because I would get up at 6 o'clock with everybody else, and the whole day was chaotic because I didn't have that time to myself that I really, really needed in my life. And so that was the biggest point when I realized that the morning workouts worked so well for me, because that was the one time that I got to focus on myself for the day and start my day off right. So after that, I transitioned into my first pregnancy. I didn't work out at all. I had a decently healthy pregnancy, but with my second one, I had already established such a great routine with my workouts. So I just kept going. There were some days that weren't great. There were some days I had to modify, but I kept working out till about 30 weeks, and I started getting really, really tired. And I had a condition where my liver enzymes were real high. And so we went into labor. Well, we didn't go into labor. We were induced into labor at 36 weeks and had a C-section because of epidural complications. But with all of that, I was so nervous because all I wanted to do was jump back into working out. And obviously with anybody that's had a C-section or had a baby in general, like, that's not something you just bounce right back from. So I was so nervous, but I recovered great, and I was able to get right back into working out. I did bar blend, which was a great start back into everything because it was nice. And don't get me wrong, I would never do it again just because it was so slow paced for me, but it was a great transition back from pregnancy. So yes, just, you look so coordinated when you're doing it. I'm like, ooh, I can't, no, I don't look like that. But so, yeah, so we're now, Steph and I are going through 10 rounds, and I can definitely say that my recovery from this pregnancy has been so much different and better. I think because I was able to keep up working out through my pregnancy. So anybody that says that they don't want to work out because they're pregnant is crazy, because I felt the best that I did when I was working out during pregnancy. Now into quarantine. It's been a journey for all of us, I know, but I was definitely that mom that, don't get me wrong, I love my kids, but I was always like, I went to college, I'm going to sit in my office chair and do my office job and go to work every day. And I loved it. Even on maternity leave, I wanted to go back to work. Not that I mean, I love my babies, but I just didn't think I could sit here all day long and not. You realize during quarantine, it's not that you're not doing anything. I do so much more being a stay-at-home mom / work-at-home mom than I ever would. Anyways, totally different subject, but being here with my girls and actually like being able to see the day-to-day stuff that they do and being able to bake on a day-to-day basis or do projects that I never would have done or play outside. I realized I was missing out on so much of my kids' lives because I was working outside the home. So that's when I contacted Lauren and I was like, okay, what do I need to do to be able to stay at home with my kids in this business? And we set up a schedule, and all joking aside, my January 1 goal was to hit diamond by May 15th. And mind you, this is like goal number 33 to hit a diamond rank. So when I drew it up, I was like, that gives me about half the year, so I'll be fine. I got 6 months to worry about it. And yeah, that it took me a month, 4 weeks exactly almost, to go from someone that had 3 coaches on her team and adding 7 coaches, because my husband is Emerald too, so I added to his, but 7 coaches. And if anybody wants to know and doesn't know how the diamond schedule or diamond stuff works, definitely hit your coach up or comment, and we can definitely explain a little bit more. But I definitely, the thing that changed, I guess, for me was my mindset and having a why that was bigger than just wanting to work out or just wanting to be healthy for your kids. I'm not saying those are not great whys, but if you want to run with this business, I realized that I need to have a why that scared me more to not achieve it than to just have it out there. Because yes, to get healthy is not a bad why, and some people that's a bigger why than others, but for me to get healthy, I've always been decently healthy my whole life, and so health conditions and stuff like that never played a part. So once I found a why that literally honed into something that I wanted so bad that I would quit my job today, was definitely something that made it easier to run with this business. But the other thing that I have been doing in the last month that I haven't been doing previously to this business is personal development. I mean, I've done the podcast, I've read chapters of books. I'm not a huge reader, but Lauren sent us a book last month for, I'm not exactly why, we hit Success Club, I think. Anyways, she sent us, some of us, a book called Fear is My Homeboy, and I started reading it, and it is absolutely life-changing. I can totally relate with it. I can totally, it just really hit home for me. And so I feel like finding personal development that hones in on things that you're struggling with, whether it be you're struggling with parenting, whether it be that you're struggling with, I'm not even sure what else, but fear is definitely something that was holding me back in this business. So that was a book that was really beneficial for me. And so starting that now has been such, the days that you don't want to send invites out, or the days that you don't want to work out, or the days that you're just struggling in general, when you have something to fall back on is the biggest way to keep going forward. When you can lean into something or reread something that jumpstarts the reason why you wanted to do this in the beginning, I think is the biggest way to keep going forward. So I guess I really just, when Lacey came to me this morning and said, hey, do you want to talk about your transformation? 2 years ago, I would have said, no flipping way. I don't like public speaking. I don't want to speak in front of other people. But the more and more that I'm around this community, you realize that everybody is in the same place. We all started at ground zero. We all joined Beachbody because we wanted something different for our lives. And whether that be you needed a community, or you wanted to get healthier, or you needed some nutrition, help with your nutrition. It is one of those things that nobody is above anybody else when you start. And like Lauren said, I think it's really easy to look and compare people and say, she's diamond, she did it, congratulations, but there's no way that I'm getting there. Like, I just don't have that in me. And I'm definitely not the typical person. You hear, I shouldn't say typical person, but you hear people that went diamond the first month they joined as a Beachbody coach. Well, they also probably were doing some type of multi-level marketing before, so they had other background, or they have different training in other things. So for me, I jumped in as a discount coach, which I had no idea what that was at the time, but I jumped in because I wanted some type of community, but didn't really know what I was coming here for. And I have slowly progressed into realizing what this does for others while also doing it for myself. And it's not a business where you're going out and selling makeup and hoping to get a bunch of sales. I don't succeed unless I'm helping other people succeed, which is so purposeful. And I didn't really realize I was not living with that great of a purpose until I started this community. So I just want everybody to know that it doesn't matter where you're starting, and it doesn't matter where you're going, but you can totally make any of this work as long as you're putting something into yourself and wanting something bigger than yourself. So if you want to go from not working out at all to working out 5 or 6 times a week, take baby steps. It's okay. Take every moment that you need. Give yourself grace in this process. Give yourself small celebrations. I think the reason this team has worked so well for me is that we talk so heavily about small victories. So someone completed a workout. Like, to some people, that's just another thing in their day, but to somebody else, that may be the biggest milestone yet on this journey. So it's such a huge thing that it doesn't matter where everybody is, but we're all still cheering everybody on no matter what. Like, I became a diamond, and I think I heard so many more people that now that are going for diamond that I'm so excited for. Like, I don't think before this I would have been one of those people that would be cheering other people on to get to places, but it's just such a community that no matter, you can lean into anybody. So find a person that you relate to, whether it be here or, and there's so many, we're all in Team Happy and Fit. This is a little bit not always business oriented, but find somebody that has something in common with you, because I think to have a success partner is huge. I think in the beginning, even with 2B Mindset, when I started, I would not have succeeded if I hadn't had somebody that I was messaging every single day, because to write something down in a notebook helps me, yes. But if you're not checking in with somebody, sometimes it's easy to not write down the 2 tablespoons of peanut butter that you ate out of the jar with a spoon, or the 3 bites of mac and cheese that you ate out of your kid's bowl, or the pop that you decided to drink later on in the day. So finding a success partner, whether it be for your personal journey or a business journey, I think is also a huge, huge, huge component of everybody's success. So that's really all I got. If anybody has any questions, shoot them my way.
Ashley, I love hearing from you, and like the chat's blowing up right now just on so many things. But what I noticed, one, is that like you leaned into the team, and what that means is like you, no matter when you started, you were here for a discount for accountability, but you found a way to make yourself part of the team. And I think that that's so incredible and so needed and so necessary, because like hearing you talk about when you were a client and you would order a challenge pack, you had nothing pulling you to open it, to finish it, to, you know, feel better. It was just anything else that just like anything else you'd ever done before. But I think joining the team and being around people who are committed to their health and their this lifestyle make it so much more impactful. And I love that you just leaned into that. Yeah, that's incredible. So if you're new and I know we've got a couple people on here for the first time, or first couple of times. So take what Ashley's saying, and it doesn't matter if you are here for accountability, if you just want to get more consistent in your own journey, like lean into the team, connect with a couple of people, like share your victories, your small wins in the team page, because the people who are here are going to show up and they're going to celebrate those wins with you.
I also thought, a little added tidbit, I also thought that it was, you see people that are ranked emerald or diamond, and you're like, oh, like you always feel like maybe that they're not approachable, or they're not somebody that you would want to necessarily like talk to because you were scared to. But I know that everybody on this team, no matter how they're ranked or where they're at in their lives, would help every single person that came up to them and said, what are you doing? Can I help you? I need some help. Like nobody, even Julianne, I mean, she's as high as I know of. And I think if I saw her on the street that I would go and give her a hug and I wouldn't think anything about it. So I feel like no matter where people are in their journeys, like everybody is willing to help everybody in any way possible.
I do have one question for you, Ashley, and I will shut up. I promise. I'll let Ashley talk. I'll let people ask questions. But I thought of this because I know, like, yeah, she went diamond in like 4 weeks. Like, really, she did. She just decided she was going to do it. This is the first milestone I need to make happen. But what's so cool is when Ashley started helping people and wanting to build this business and wanting to grow an income, she would literally message me and be like, Lauren, can you help me on how to expand my network? Like, how do I grow my Instagram? Like, did not want to talk to people who she already knew. And so Ashley, I just want you to walk us through, one, that fear, and then two, what did you do to overcome that?
I have never been a super confident person. And I think that reaching out to people that I knew was just terrifying to me. I didn't want people to think that I was trying to sell them some product that was going to make me some money, or that I was just doing Beachbody. I guess I've always had that thought in my mind that I've always been the bigger girl, and people always judged me for that. And so I just didn't want to bring any of the people that I knew into it, just because I'm like, I just want to be with new people. There's plenty of new people out there. Like, let's go with them. And Lauren goes, you do know that I hit my first diamond and plus from everybody that I knew. And I was like, crap. Okay. I guess I'm going to have to reach out to these people that I don't want to talk to about this. So I bit the bullet and I typed up an invite and I sent it to Lauren and I said, okay, can you please look at this and help me with wording? Because wording is such a big thing when it comes to invites. And since this was such a big thing for me and staying home with my girls and being able to help other people, I literally typed up this invite and went through every single Facebook person and just sent it. 15 people a day. I didn't look at them. I just sent it. And then when they would respond back, I was like, oh crap, now what do? I have people that I have to talk to about this. And so thank the Lord, if anybody is interested in, Jennifer, you make me laugh. If anybody is interested in this business, Julianne is so wonderful about putting information together, because I didn't even have to explain anything. I was like, oh good, I have this video that I can send out and she's going to explain everything and then they can just tell me what they want. And if it's too much money, they're going to ghost me anyways. So sure enough, I just kept sending it out, and I have talked to so many ladies that were like, okay, I need some help. There was a lady that I went to, a girl that I went to high school with, that has been, she's been on a weight loss journey for a long time. She's lost quite a bit of weight and she's plateaued. And she's like, I've heard about Beachbody and I'm really skeptical about it. And before all of this, I'd have been like, no, that's fine. I understand. We don't have to talk about it anymore. Like, no problem. We'll just, and ghost her. But I went out of my comfort zone and explained to her what I liked about it and what things I loved product-wise, what things I wasn't real keen on, what things workout-wise worked for me. And she was like, okay, I'm in. And I was like, oh, you mean if you just talk to people like a normal person, that they're gonna be okay with this? Oh, okay, we can do this now. So I think the biggest takeaway from that conversation with her was, stop being scared of people and just treat them like you would talk to your mom or your sister or your best friend about stuff, because everybody is going through something in their life. And whether they need a workout program, whether they need extra people to lean in on, whether they need nutrition, it's just one of those things that you don't know if you're the only person that's asking how their day is going. And that was my biggest takeaway, was I want to be the person that has the light that they needed that day. And so I send out the messages, I ask how people are doing, and I have yet to have one rude comment. I have yet to have one rude response from my invites. Yes, people say that they don't want to, and that's okay. It's okay if they're not ready or they're doing something else. Beachbody might not work for everybody, and that's okay. But the fear of mine with inviting was I was scared for the no. And I was scared that people were going to be mean about it and people were going to think that what I was doing was not legitimate. And that's not true. And so I know that you have to figure that out on your own to lose that fear. But in doing that, know that everybody's had the no's and everybody's gone through it. So as long as you just keep doing you and you keep being genuine about things, it doesn't matter what people say. Even behind the scenes, if people think that you're crazy for doing Beachbody, as long as you're doing it for you and you're trying to better yourself in whatever way that is, that's all that really matters.
I always loved Christina Delgado. It was a few years ago at a Diamond retreat. She was interviewed and she was like, gosh, my team just gets so hung up on when people ghost them or they tell them no. They're so fearful of the word no. And then she's like, but did you die? Like, wait, hold on. Check your heart rate. Are you still breathing? You are? Oh my gosh, awesome. You're living, you're breathing. That's amazing. Like it was the best moment ever. Just like, okay, yeah, no, that's not so hard. And I think like, it's so true. We have such a fear of what people are going to say, but we're inviting them to join us on a journey. If we ourselves weren't doing it, it'd be a completely different thing. But it's like asking someone to go for a walk with you. You know, like it's not that crazy. But what's so cool is in this last month, I've watched so many new coaches be so scared at first to get those no's, but all of a sudden they get a yes and that confidence just boosts. So if you're someone out there who hasn't really invited anyone yet because you're scared about it, like go 5 feet out of your comfort zone and just do it, because you're going to get a yes eventually. You might not the first couple that you do. And if you have real goals of like going diamond like Ashley did, and your focus is on like people aren't responding, I'm getting all no's, I'm only getting ghosted, my advice for you is that you need to send more. Like if you're only sending out 1 or 2 invites a day and all you can see is that that you can like see that they saw it but they didn't respond, send out a couple more until that's not your focus. 1 in 10 will say yes. Yeah. Yes. And Ashley, can you give us an example what your invites looked like when you started inviting them? I know you're sending Julianne's video for like the team challenge.
So I typed up the one for next month. So my one for next month says, hey friends, it's that time of month again for our huge team challenge. Oh my gosh, I am so excited for this challenge. I know for me, I have been lax during this quarantine and I'm ready to get back on my nutrition. Have you ever struggled with a routine or wanting to jump back into working out or nutrition? Could I send you some more information on the next challenge group that we have starting? And I put June 8th. We're not exactly sure. We haven't heard yet, but so that's what I threw together. And so yeah, nothing. I try and be very, very genuine about the struggles that I've been having in the last little bit, and pull from, because if I'm struggling, someone else is struggling with it too. So I try and pull from that so that then at least we have something to talk about as well. I'm much better at cold inviting than connecting with people. So that's what I've been doing. I have been connecting with people. I try to do the first 2 weeks of the month connecting with people and inviting from that. And then the last 2, I go through, I shouldn't say it's cold inviting because they watch my stories and they comment on my posts. So they know what I'm doing. It's not like I warm inviting. Yes. It's not like I'm walking into the grocery store and saying, hey, you want to join me on Beachbody? And they've never actually heard of what I'm doing. So it's warm inviting.
Questions for Ashley?
What's been your favorite workout program so far?
I'm the person that loves the newest workout.
I'm the same way. It's okay. Except bar, because of the booty burn.
Oh man. That one was a struggle, but I knew it was
like,
good
no.
for me no. I am horrible with flexibility. So like my hips, and I'm like, okay, I'm doing this, but I'm not liking it. My top 3 are probably morning meltdown 100, lift 4, and 10 rounds. But I'm definitely a higher intensity. I'm not a huge cardio person and I love lifting, but it's nice that a lot of those programs sneak yes, Stephanie, Joel. They sneak the cardio in there and it's not so like T20, no way. Don't ask me to do Shanti. There's no flipping way. Madison is my like homegirl. I'm like, how woman do you do that? You are like, I don't even know how old she is, 10? Anyways, she beast modes it. I'm like, girl, you are a beast. But yes, those are my top 3 probably.
You mean my Madison?
Yes.
She's 6.
6. Okay,
She
I knew I was
smokes me at birthday. She's like, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, slow down. Like,
she can do burpees better than I can. I'm like, girl, what are you doing?
Seriously, don't ever invite Madison over to your house when you're going to work out, because you're like, what workout should we do? Let's do Friday Fight Round 2 Insanity Max 30. You're like, oh, the hardest workout on the planet. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm so excited for this.
she does push-ups. She does all the things, guys.
You're like, I hurt my ankle. I'm real sorry.
Right. Like, oop. She's like, I got this. I'll hop in the video and I got it. And I'm like, go.
I gotta go get a drink.
Why are
She
you
loves
taking your
Sean.
break?
It's only Sean. It takes a lot for me to convince her to do anybody but Sean.
That's funny. She cracks me up when I see you, when she works out with you. I just laugh.
She's more interested in cartoons now in the mornings, so she's bailed on me. But
dang it.
That's love, guys. Like, if you have little kids, you know, some people get really stressed out when they're like running around and all the things, like, but they're seeing you do stuff, and like at some point in time they'll smoke you at burpees, like, because they're short. They just go. They don't get tired.
I'm glad you said that, because I was someone that woke up at 4 a.m. to work out, and now I've been waiting and letting Brielle do it with me, and all of a sudden she's like, Mom, where's my weights? And she's like, I'm like, please don't hurt yourself or drop that weight on you. But she loves it, and it's so fun to see her like, oh, I'm gonna do that with you. And I'm like, how are you able to do that? Kenzie laughs. That's funny. But yeah, definitely involve your kids, because I was always one of those that I wanted it as my me time, and then I realized how much they look up to you. I kind of posted about that actually before this, but I want her to have the confidence that I didn't have. I want them to have the confidence that I didn't have growing up. And so the only way to do that is for them to see what you're doing and see what you're eating and explain to them what you're doing. So yes, involve your kids, because it actually is kind of fun.
Other questions for Ashley?
Oh, Danny, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no.
I get stuff like that happens all the time. I like stepped on the baby, and my daughter was like, she's napping, be quiet. I'm like, I can't breathe. Like, you're going to have to just deal right now. Yeah, those resistance bands can be deadly.